Our story begins at the Skunk Ape Research Headquarters, which is run by a man behind the infamous Skunk Ape video, Dave Shealy.
My video that I took is unparalleled in the Bigfoot arena there as far as videos, and my video is like the clearest, best footage ever.
But wait, that looks a lot like a Bigfoot. What makes a skunk ape so different from a Bigfoot?
You never hear about a Bigfoot in a tree, but here in the Big Cypress, people see the skunk ape. Over 70% of the time they see it in the trees.
Okay.
So they're saying, we saw one of these skunk apes down the road, and I was like, okay, well, tell me about it. Well, we were parked looking at alligators, and we noticed the trees rustling, and through the trees we made out a large animal climbing around in the trees, as big as a man, covered with hair. I said, well, yeah, that's what I'm seeing. But that's not your typical Bigfoot sighting. It's a little different.
Okay, so skunk apes are typically spotted in the trees. Regarding the method of baiting skunk apes, you mentioned that the preferred bait is lima beans. How did you come across that oddly specific finding?
Well, yeah, it sounds kind of strange, but it all started with a story I was told by my old timer. They had a hunting camp out in the Everglades. They had a cook stove inside with a pipe that went out the top to get the heat out. In doing so, would get the smell out. It was like a vent. Mm-hmm. And there was 6 or 8 hunters were out at the camp that night. They had hunted all day and had settled in, and they had a pot of beans, lima beans, cooking on the stove. And it's late at night, and they're playing cards, and there was an oak tree, had a big limb that grew over the cabin. And while they're playing cards, all of a sudden, out of nowhere, a skunk ape fell off the limb and came right through the roof of the cabin and landed right in the middle of the card table, right in front of all of them. And so they're like real peacefully playing cards, and all of a sudden all hell breaks loose. Well, it's a wild animal.
Yeah.
They all jump up, the lantern gets knocked over and goes out. So now they're in the dark. They're scrambling for their guns, they can't find the door. It's pandemonium's all broke out. And then a loud crash. Boom! And it went quiet. Well, when they got themselves together and got the lights back on, the whole back wall of the cabin was completely knocked out. Nobody was injured. Some people were scratched up and shocked, but nobody got hurt. But the whole end of the cabin was torn off of the building, and whatever had come through the roof had just ran right through the wall.
That's a very interesting story. With all these sightings on skunk apes, how do skeptics disprove them?
The truth is that the Big Cypress Preserve has partnered with an orangutan facility in Indonesia, and employees of the preserve are frequenting that facility, learning about orangutan behavior. Mm-hmm. And I met in February in the forest, I ran into 5 Indonesian orangutan researchers here in the Big Cypress. Mm-hmm. They believe that what I'm seeing is an orangutan, and everything about it, they says, is orangutan.
So, how do you know it's a skunk ape and not an orangutan?
It's a much larger, darker animal. These things have been around here for hundreds of years. The Indians are my neighbors. I speak with them.
Yeah.
And no, it's not an orangutan, despite what the Park Service is thinking right now.
Do you know of anyone who believes in skunk apes who used to be a skeptic of them?
He's not a big skunk ape fan. He's like, yeah, Dave, yeah. He's always like naysaying me. And so one day we're talking, and he said, I got to tell you something. I'm going to tell you a story, Dave. He says, I can't believe I'm telling you this. He said, but I'm going to tell you. And he told me, he said, about 20 years ago, which is a long time now, like 50 years ago, he had a campfire going. He's in the woods camping at his campfire, and he hears something thumping, something running. And he has a swamp buggy, and he's got a trail coming into his camp. He said he looked up, and this animal came lumbering down the road right into his camp, and he couldn't believe it. And he said he stood up on two legs and stood there and looked at him, and he don't know what the hell it was. And then as quick as he saw it, it ran back off into the woods. So here's a guy that's a skeptic that really don't believe in skunk apes.
He saw something.
But he saw one.
Yeah.
With the limiting sightings of skunk apes, why are they so hard to find in Florida?
90% of the Everglades, which is the largest wilderness area east of the Mississippi. I always get this, well, I'm from upstate New York, and them mountains, they just go on forever and ever and ever. Well, not really. The Everglades is bigger, and I know Florida, it doesn't seem like, it's the Everglades, it's just the tip of Florida. They call it America's wang. But it's huge. If you encompass the water management areas, pretty much the Everglades runs from Lake Okeechobee south. The largest wild area east of the Mississippi, it is.
If the Everglades are too big to find a skunk ape casually, how are TV shows able to achieve this seemingly impossible feat?
Yeah, they want to fake everything. Yeah, they want to fake
for TV.
They want to fake me getting out of the car. I mean, just for starters. And we ain't even started yet. And I right now I'm working with 2 entertainment television series, but it's not about the skunk ape.
Okay.
And so I mean I can deal with it, but it's all fake. Yeah, none of it's real. It's like people watching TV and they see these survivor shows where the guys are going out and they're eating a snake and they're camping in the swamp. They never spend the night in the swamp. They didn't even kill the damn snake. They bought it from somebody. So it's just ridiculous.
As the final question, how are you able to stay motivated when you have people like biologists saying skunk ape isn't real?
I just have to remind myself that none of those people live here. None of those people have done any research.
Nothing like you have.
No.
Yeah.
No, absolutely not. And I go on YouTube and stuff like that, and I see, oh, this is Skunk Ape guy. This is a Skunk Ape Dream Team out of Miami. Yeah. How come I've never met these people?
Yeah.
So
all for show.
It's just all. I'm the only one doing research, and I always tell people, not bragging. I say, like, I'm the best. I'm the best at what I do. But you know what? I'm the only one at what I do.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't I be the best? Now, in all fairness, there are a couple of people in the state that actually put in a little bit of time, and I don't want to take nothing away from them. But the majority of the people, it just sucks. I don't know.
And so our story ends. What we are left with are rumors that have been passed down from one generation to the next. Stories based on a captivating world that still holds many secrets. And to our belief in the existence of skunk ape, we still hold on that they could still be lurking into the darkness.